Hello everyone, in this video we will be talking about long division. As explained in class, long division is used in order to do divisions that are too big for us to know in our timetables. So for example, let's say that I want to do 48 divided by 6. Well, I know that 48 divided by 6 is 8 because I know already that 6 times 8 makes 48. But what if I have to do a division like, let's say, 69 divided by 3? Well, I don't know how many times 3 makes 69, so this can be a little confusing. And here what we do is we use long division. Let's show an example. Let's say that I want to do the division 92 divided by 4. The first thing I do is I make this shape, like so. Then I put my divisor, which is the number dividing, it's the number doing the dividing, so 4, I put it here. And then I put the dividend, which is the number being divided, here. To do long division, I follow the steps: divide, multiply, subtract, and then carry down. In Greek, that would be zero, πολλαπλασιάζω, αφαιρώ, κατεβάζω. And if we follow these steps, we are certain to get a result. So the first question I ask myself is, how many times does 4 go into 9? 4 goes into 9 twice. That was my first step. I divided. My next step is to multiply the number I just wrote, so 2, times my divisor, so 4. 2 times 4 makes 8. I write that 8 beneath the number I just divided, so 9. And then I move on to my next step, which is to subtract. And I do 9 take away 8. 9 take away 8 makes 1. After I subtract, I move on to my next step, which is to carry down the next digit. That would be 2. So I carry the 2 down next to the 1 here. And this becomes 12. My next step is to move back to the beginning. I start all over again. I divide. I divide the 12 that's down here with my divisor, 4. So I ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 12? 3 times. Again, the next step, multiply the number I just wrote. So just the 3, not 23, just the 3, I just wrote 3, times 4 makes 12. Put the 12 here. Our next step is to subtract. 12 take away 12 is 0. And then I move on to the next step, which is to carry down the next digit. But there is no next digit. This is when the exercise finishes. No matter the division, this is when the exercise finishes. When I go to carry down another digit, but there is no digit to carry down. And here I have my result, 23. So that means that 92 divided by 4 makes 23. I should be able to make sure this is true by doing 23 times 4, and I should get 92, which if you do, you would actually get that. You would actually get 92. We have a few special cases that we should take note of. So let's say I want to do the division 128 divided by 4. This is the same as the last one, but it does have something that I do need to point out. for the case that you encounter it. Again, I put my divisor here, the 4, and then my dividend goes here, 128. This time though, when I start, I say 4, how many times does 4 go into 1? But 4 doesn't go into 1. It doesn't fit. 1 is too small. Now normally what I would do is I would write 0 here because it doesn't fit any times, and I'd say 0 times 4 makes 0. I would do 1 take away 0 makes 1. I would pull down the 2, and I would have 12. And then I'd start again from the beginning. How many times does 4 go into 12? But instead of doing all of that, instead, what I can say is, since 4 doesn't fit into 1, I'm just going to put in the next digit as well, and say how many times does 4 fit into 12? Now, if you noticed just a second ago, what I would be doing is dividing 12 by 4. If I had actually put the 0 here, I would be doing 12 divided by 4. And it's basically the exact same thing. We're just skipping a few of the steps to make it easier, to make it so that it takes up less time. So again, when my divisor doesn't fit into the first number, I just put in the next digit as well and say how many times does 4 go into 12? 4 goes into 12 3 times. Next step, multiply. 3 times 4 makes 12. 12 take away 12 makes 0. Next step, carry down the next digit, 8. And again from the beginning, how many times does 4 go into 8? 2 times. 2 times 4 makes 8. 8 take away 8 is 0. I try and pull down the next digit. Oh, there is no next digit, so exercise is done. This is my result. Next special case that we need to look at is if I have a long division that is not perfect. So let's say that I have to do 82 divided by 5. Again, I make the line. I make the little shape here. I put my divisor here, my dividend here. And I start by saying, how many times does 5 fit into 8? How many times does 5 fit into 8? Well, it fits 1 time. 1 times 5 makes 5. And then I subtract. 8 take away 5 makes 3. My next step, pull down the next digit, the 2, next to this 3, and it becomes 32. And then I start again. How many times does 5 fit into 32? It fits 6 times. 6 times 5 makes 30. I subtract, and now I get 2. I go to pull down the next digit, but I can't. There is no next digit, so I'm done, and my result is 2. My result is 16, sorry. But now the difference is, if you saw the previous ones, we had zeros down here. Now we have a 2 right here. This means that the division is not perfect. I have what we called a remainder. If you remember from the beginning of the year when we did division with remainder. And so this means that 5 doesn't fit perfectly into 80. There's one more special long division that we need to look at, which you can see in the next video.